April 25, 1986, a spring evening in northern Ukraine. The city of Pripyat glows under streetlights, alive with 49,000 souls who have no idea this is their last normal night. Reactor 4. Tonight it becomes the most dangerous place on Earth, the control room. A safety test is about to go terribly wrong. Leonid Toptunov, 26 years old. 7 hours to live. Deputy Chief Engineer Anatoly Dyatlov enters the control room. He's supervising a safety test tonight, a routine procedure. What could go wrong? The test is simple. See if the reactor's turbines can generate enough electricity to power the safety systems during a shutdown. They've done it before, but not with this reactor, not with this crew.
In Pripyat, children sleep. Parents watch television. A young couple walks hand in hand through Lenin Square, planning their future in this prosperous atomic city. Firefighter Vasily Ignatenko kisses his pregnant wife Ludmila goodbye as he heads to the fire station for his shift. "I'll be back for breakfast," he promises. He won't be. The reactor is being powered down for the test. Slowly, carefully, or so they think. But Toptunov notices something strange. The power is dropping too fast. He reports it. Dyatlov is annoyed. "Bring it back up," he orders. Toptunov hesitates. The reactor is in an unstable state, but you don't question Dyatlov. They withdraw the control rods. More and more, far beyond safety limits. The reactor begins to wake up, angry, unstable, a sleeping giant disturbed. April 26, 1986, 1:23 a.m. Someone presses the emergency shutdown button, AZ5. It should save them. Instead, it will doom them all. For a few seconds, nothing. Then the control rods jam. They can't go all the way down. The reactor does the opposite of what they expect. Power doesn't decrease, it surges.
The fuel rods begin to crack. Water turns to steam instantly. Pressure builds and builds and builds. Reactor 4 has become a bomb. 1:23 and 40 seconds. The first explosion. Not nuclear. Steam. The 1,000-ton reactor lid, meant to withstand anything, is blown off like a bottle cap. 2 seconds later, the second explosion. Hydrogen. More powerful. The building's roof is torn open. The core is exposed to the night sky. For the first time in human history, an active nuclear reactor is burning in open air. A column of radioactive fire shoots 1,000 meters into the sky. It glows, blue, red, colors that shouldn't exist. The deadly light of exposed reactor core. In the control room, the lights go out. Emergency lighting flickers on. The men are confused. They don't understand what just happened. Akimov, the shift supervisor, actually thinks they can still save the reactor. Dyatlov refuses to believe the reactor is destroyed. "It's intact," he shouts. "Check the pumps." He sends men into radiation levels that will kill them in minutes. They obey. They still trust the system. At 1:28 a.m., 5 minutes after the explosion, the fire station alarm sounds. Vasily Ignatenko and his crew race toward the plant. They think it's just a normal fire. They arrive. Ladders up, hoses ready. Just another fire. Except their boots stick to the ground. The asphalt is melting and pieces of graphite, reactor core, lie scattered across the roof. Glowing. Deadly. Vasily picks up a piece of graphite with his bare hands. It feels heavy, hot. His hand burns instantly. He doesn't know he's holding the core of a nuclear reactor. He doesn't know he just signed his death warrant. The firefighters don't have protective gear. No one told them what they're fighting. They stand on a roof covered in radioactive debris, spraying water on an exposed nuclear core. Within minutes, they begin to feel it. Nausea, headaches, a metallic taste. Their skin starts to itch and redden. But they don't stop. Soviet men don't abandon their posts. Back in the reactor, Alexander Akimov and Leonid Toptunov are trying desperately to pump water into the core. It's useless. There is no core to cool anymore, but they don't believe it's gone. They work the pumps manually, fatal doses of radiation every second. Radiation detectors are maxing out. The needles slam to the end of the scale and stick there. When instruments can't measure it anymore, they just write it down, off scale. At 3 a.m., the first victims arrive at Pripyat Hospital. The medical staff has no idea what they're dealing with. They've never seen radiation sickness before. The doctors measure radiation on the patient's clothing. The instruments scream with alarm. "Get these clothes off them!" someone shouts. But the damage is already done. By dawn, Moscow knows. The Politburo is informed, but they don't understand the scale. They think it's just a fire. They tell no one, not even the people of Pripyat. In Pripyat, people are waking up. It's Saturday morning. Children want to play outside. Parents open windows. The air smells strange, metallic, but the sun is shining. It's a beautiful spring day. Soviet physicist Valery Legasov arrives by helicopter. He looks down at the reactor. What he sees makes his blood freeze. The core is exposed, burning, spewing radiation into the atmosphere. "We need to evacuate immediately," Legasov says. But the party officials refuse. "We can't cause panic. Pripyat will wait another day." A fatal day. Bag after bag, ton after ton. 5,000 tons of sand, lead, clay, and boron, dropped by hand from helicopter doors. Some miss, some hit. The temperature in the core begins to drop. But there's a new problem. The core is so hot, it's melting through the concrete floor. If it reaches the water tanks below, it will cause a steam explosion. Chernobyl could destroy half of Europe.
Someone has to drain the water, manually, diving into radioactive water beneath the reactor. It's a suicide mission. 3 men volunteer: Alexei Ananenko, Valery Bespalov, and Boris Baranov. They find the valves, turn them. The water begins to drain. They've done it. Against impossible odds, they've prevented a second explosion. They emerge, soaking wet, contaminated, but alive. April 27th, 2 p.m. Finally, the evacuation order comes. Pripyat will be emptied. Take nothing, they're told. You'll be back in 3 days. It's a lie. They'll never return. Pets are left behind. Dogs chase after the buses, barking, confused. They'll wait for their families, for days, then weeks. Then they'll turn feral or die. In 3 hours, Pripyat is empty. A ghost city, breakfast dishes still on tables, clothes hanging in closets. A frozen moment. April 27th, 1986, 5 p.m. The day the city died. But the reactor is still burning, still spewing radiation. They need miners to dig a tunnel under the reactor to install a cooling system, another impossible task. 1 month, that's how long it takes. The fastest tunnel ever dug in Soviet history. Many of these miners will die young: cancer, radiation sickness, heroes no one will remember. The reactor is still deadly. They need a sarcophagus, a massive concrete and steel tomb to seal it forever. But who will build it? Who will work next to an exposed reactor core? 600,000 people. The liquidators, soldiers, workers, civilians, drafted from across the Soviet Union. Most are told they'll work for a few days. Some work for months. All receive dangerous doses. Construction begins. The sarcophagus will be 20 stories tall, 400,000 cubic meters of concrete, 7,000 tons of metal, built around an active nuclear reactor, a tomb for death itself. A 30-kilometer exclusion zone is established, 2,600 square kilometers closed to human habitation forever. Nature begins to reclaim its territory. Chernobyl became a symbol of the greatest man-made disaster of the 20th century. The memory of the liquidators' heroism and the victims lives in our hearts. Never again.